I'm Christian Abbott.
I'm Nathan Lavender.
I'm Sean Abbott.
And this is the Red Mist Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Red Mist Podcast, Season 2, Episode 34. The 1983 Theodore Ford N183 of Johnny Ciccato Formula One car from the Theodore Racing Team. Classic style. Sagafredo sponsorship. And Johnny Ciccato was no slouch. He went later on to great fame in world touring car racing.
Very nice.
Nate thought I was going to go with the Michael McDowell front row, number 34.
Well, he did win a race this year.
No,
so,
he did. He did
at Indy. So,
but we like to go for the obscure here.
Who's in the 34? Isn't it Carlos Munoz when he was with Andretti?
Wow.
Speaking of Andretti,
look at that.
Oh, wait a minute. Anyways,
let's move on. On tonight's episode, we will recap race 1 of the playoffs in NASCAR.
Yes.
The Cookout Southern 500. We'll recap the standings as well. We'll cover the Bitnile Grand Prix of Portland. Go through a little bit of results there. But a champion was crowned. And champions were crowned in the lower series in Indycar as well.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We might get to that. We'll see. F1, we were at the Temple of Speed. Autodromo Nacional Monza for the Gran Premio d'Italia, or for those in America, the Italian Grand Prix. And nothing really changed.
Oh, it's business as usual.
Business as usual. There was some excitement over third and fourth place.
Mm-hmm.
But we will discuss when we get there. Yeah. We'll discuss news and notes afterwards. Look ahead to the IndyCar race finale at Laguna Seca.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, NASCAR is somewhere next week, right? Are they Kansas?
Yes.
Look at that.
Kansas.
All right.
So,
keeping you honest there. We'll discuss some news and notes. There was some driver moves today in the IndyCar paddock that were announced. So let's move back over to Darlington, South Carolina for the Cookout Southern 500.
Yes.
It was run under the lights, and at one point there were no lights.
Well, yes. I mean, and Darlington's one of the tougher tracks where when the sun comes down, you'll have direct sunlight going into.
Right, but there was also no artificial light at one point.
Well, okay, but hang on. So we gotta. All right. Yes, Sean, there was.
It caused an unnecessary yellow/red flag.
Yeah.
NASCAR forgot to pay the bills, and
they added a stage.
I think Darlington forgot to do it.
Inside, the turn 3, turn 4 lights that were on the inside of the track didn't light up. It was kind of entertaining.
Don't they have headlights on those cars?
They do, but they're stickers.
I mean, Christian, jeez. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They have nice stickers on them.
Yep.
It's just added stickers on it.
Yep.
Overall, thought the race was. I thought the race was fantastic. I do like the race in there.
It was pretty good. Yeah, I love races at Darlington.
Yep. Wasn't
the lady in black?
There wasn't any there were crashes, but they were key crashes. Like it wasn't like a big pile up like at Daytona.
No, and I'll tell you, there's
so it was more the result of being able to stay out of trouble.
Right, and I think that was look. You go into the first race of the playoffs. What are you thinking? I mean, at least get past Darlington and kind of see where you set up after that.
Right.
That'd be my mindset. And I'll tell you, one of my picks that you could really see up front consistently was actually Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin really strives very well at this track, and I'll tell you, he was leading a lot of the laps early on, and then I know I'm probably a little fast forwarding here, but
yeah, then
trouble
found Denny.
Trouble found Denny. Well, and I'll tell you, it was I think it was Kyle Busch, or there was a moment where they were 3 wide, and Todd Gilliland tried giving as much space to Kyle Busch as possible, but I don't think Kyle Busch knew it was 3 wide and kind of drifted up.
That erstwhile front row.
Both cars were involved. I mean, Todd Gilliland got minimal damage, but one of the cars that got the most damage was Michael McDowell in the 34, and I'll be frank. I mean, he's one of the first cars I would expect to get out of the playoffs.
I also believe Christopher Bell got caught up in this mess too.
Him and Denny Hamlin got caught up in
your
this.
Whole
so
front
three
row,
playoffs.
Your whole front row went poof.
And it's shocking for Denny Hamlin because I think he went into this race thinking he could at least maybe get a win or a good finish. Yeah. He's still. I mean, we'll look at the points grid in a second, but I mean, he is still in the top 12. That is, at least to move on to the next round.
I know.
But it's
our pre-race text chat. I did get the
always the best.
I got the first 2 finishes correct.
You did.
It was either Reddick or Larson. But at the end of the day, it was Young Money, Kyle Larson with the win.
Well, hang on. We got to. Speaking of Hendrick, did you see what Alex Bowman did with Dinosaurs?
Oh, the block and the chop and all that stuff.
Well, 2 blocks.
Yeah.
You blocked the inside once. Okay,
yeah.
Fine. But then, as soon as Suarez went to the outside, Bowman started drifting up and doing another block. You got turned. You had it coming.
There was one guy that got kind of hosed and all the yellow flag situations, and that was Harvick.
Oh, well, he was going down pit road. But let me tell you something too. This was building up a little bit. Ryan Newman did kind of give Tyler Reddick a tough time trying to get by him in lap traffic. Yeah. And you look at this. I think Tyler Reddick slammed the brakes on Ryan Newman going for that caution.
Oh.
I think there's a conspiracy there that no one's talking about.
All right.
Because how the hell does a Rick Ware racing car all of a sudden drive up to a 2311 car and then has to spin out? It's not a fast car, Sean. So you told me.
I don't know, Nate. I just know that Ryan spun out and caused a yellow and.
Yeah, because Tyler Reddick thought the brakes were the throttle, I guess.
Yeah, but there you go.
Well, but Harvick was going to, if that caution didn't come out, I think Harvick would have came out front because he would have done the undercut and had the fresher tires because Darlington eats tires. After 10, maybe 20 laps, those tires are gone and you have to suffer through.
Very true. Very true. But let's focus on the up front and the domination of both Tyler Reddick and Kyle Larson.
Or so.
They were in the top 5 all night. So
they were.
And
so
both had the scrapes of the wall.
Well, they were trying their guts out, man.
Yeah.
And they were, and it happened in 3 and 4.
And it was always, and then when that happened, that was always great. Jeff Burton jumped out of his jockey shorts and screaming and yelling.
Well, I guess he saw also his son got caught up in a wreck too.
Yep.
Did he jump out of his chair then? Probably not.
No.
Oh gosh. Anyway.
But it was a good start.
Why am I talking about a non-playoff drive?
It was a good start to the playoffs.
It was.
If we look at the just the results, Larson, Reddick, Chris Buescher, William Byron, Ross Chastain for the top 5 finish.
Yes.
And then Bad Brad finished 6th in the number 6. Great. Oh man, I'll tell you.
He was up the front, near the front.
He was
a lot of the night.
And then we had Darrell Wallace, who, boy, Darrell had a night.
He had a great night. And,
Well,
I'll tell you,
really,
hang on.
a great night, Nate. He recovered from.
Look, he finished seventh.
I know he
And
finished
that
seventh.
Top 10 at Darlington is a great night.
But he
Yeah.
recovered from a couple of incidents.
Yes,
So,
but doesn't that kind of mean?
that was
Look, you're turning lemons into lemonade, Sean.
well, he recovered.
He recovered.
He recovered.
And did a great job
Yep.
at it. So
Yep. Unlike
that's that's why okay.
unlike
I
his,
probably shouldn't say great night, but I mean for what it was.
Yeah, he saved
He turned
himself.
something great out
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And he had a better night than Denny Boo Hamlin.
Denny who?
That's actually catching on now. I saw that people are like in social media are calling him Denny Boo Hamlin.
Well, when he won the race in the Saturday night race, the Xfinity race, or you know what I mean, the Xfinity race, he won, and then on his social media, he posts pictures of people that are flipping him off.
Yeah, I know, but
It's
we tagged him that
so great.
we tagged him Denny Boo at the SRX race.
No, I know.
So
I know.
You know,
So
I
I
think-
just we saw that in person, Sean.
I think we'd like
So,
to take credit for that.
you
All
should.
right,
Christian,
I
you on
will-
board with this?
I will.
No comment.
I will. I'd like to put out one congratulations and shout out to Carson Hosever, who finished in
Yes.
started in the top 20, finished in the top 20
On
at
debut.
at Darlington. So congratulations to Carson. Hopefully,
Yes.
I think he's supposed to be in the car at least one more time, possibly at Bristol. That's what they were talking about.
that would be a good night for him to
Yeah.
showcase his
So
skill.
maybe more. We'll see. See what's in the offing there. All right, let's move to the all important standings.
Yes.
Now, how does
Let's-
this? Did anyone drop out? See, this is what I don't like about this. If you drop below the cutoff line, I think you should drop out.
After one night.
Yes. No. No.
Well, they have already something in place, Sean. 3 races, and then
I know, but why 3?
The worst four.
Why don't we just have one? How many races are in the cutoff? The
10.
playoff? 10.
the all in all 10.
10.
And then it's 3, 3, 3, and then 1.
Okay. But why don't we just start dropping guys right away? Be more fun. Guys would be more.
It would be.
Guys would be more
Well,
panic about
all right.
like their
Yeah.
thing. You know.
So you think after every one race,
Yeah.
they should just drop one
Yeah.
person that just has okay.
March
So
Madness style.
this also means if there's an occasion where someone gets dumped on lap 1
Well,
and their
That's
stuff
the,
is destroyed.
that's the way it goes, Nate.
Oh,
That's
I know.
the way it
like,
goes.
I mean, yeah, I guess
All right.
put the March Madness into it and
Yeah.
see what
I
happens.
like it.
But I'll tell you, Michael McDowell has a tough road ahead of him to get out of where he is. He's minus 19.
He and Captain America have a tough road to hoe.
He's only minus. He's minus 4. I think he's
Well.
going to do. Bristol is one of his strong tracks. But we got to see what happens in Kansas for me to kind of stick a fork in that. But at the same time, we can see what happens in Kansas. He's
So-
won Xfinity races. One Xfinity race at Kansas.
So our championship point leader is Young Money, Kyle Larson.
He's already on to the next round, Sean. So you don't have to worry about that
because he won, right? He locked in.
because he won. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine,
So he's in-
imagine if Kyle swept these 3.
could very well happen.
That would be an entertaining thing. Anyways, get back on that. We got William Byron second, and that's purely based on, I think, stage points for the race. And Tyler Reddick third, Busher, Hamlin, Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Bad Brad, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, who had a very uneventful evening, and
Yeah, he did. Are you
Christopher-
kidding me?
Christopher Bell.
He was all over the place.
Christopher Bell.
Yeah.
All right, so that is That's
I'm
pretty
just shocked. I just feel for Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
He just had a bad
No,
race.
that was tough.
That was tough to see. Yeah, no, where is he going to go? Pit road is closed, and he's like 2 inches away from pit road, and
Yeah. Well,
it's just
nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
Yep.
All right. So next up is Sunday,
Kansas.
3:00 Eastern, the Hollywood Casino 400
Not in California.
from Kansas City, Kansas. That should be entertaining.
Yes.
All right.
That's a fun race with the Cup cars.
You think?
Because they, I think so. Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Okay.
they go pretty quick there, and since the repave, these cars have been going really fast around this track. So it should be entertaining.
All right. Well, we look forward to it. The suspense builds. You can see it in Christian's face.
And you know who else has won at Kansas, Sean? Ty Keselowski.
Yeah. All right. What, in 2000?
2011 or 2012.
All right. Great. Well, it was recent. That's good. All right. Enough of that. Let's move on to IndyCar, Portland, and the Bitnile Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Palou.
Oh my God, you said it.
Gonna say it twice. Hello, Palou.
Yeah. Is there an echo?
Echo.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh God. Wow. What can I say?
The original is Hello Newman.
Yes.
Mike Joyce said it all the time, and
Right.
Ryan Newman said
Yeah.
it. But,
Well, we got Hello,
so-
Palou.
Well, we got Hello
And,
Palou
and
now.
it was two, because it was Hello Palou for the race win and Hello Palou for the championship lockup.
Mm-hmm.
So,
This is his second championship, right?
Yep.
yeah. Strategy race here. Once again,
Yeah.
Ganassi nailed it. They did get kind of hosed on a yellow.
Scott
Oh
Dixon
no,
did.
Augustin Canapino, car stalled. And unlike all the previous yellows, race control waited on this one. And at the time, Felix Rosenquist was leading. They waited and gave him an opportunity to pit before they closed the pit lane.
Right.
Not a big fan of that.
Yeah, just call the caution out. I mean, NASCAR.
It's a caution because I'll be honest with you. He was sitting in the middle of the track.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I mean, if that was, let's say, he crashed into the tire barrier, that would have gone full caution, right?
Right away.
Yep. So, and we had earlier in the race, we had somebody slide off and stall the car. So apparently the cars were stalling out there because there's no real slope in the corners, so they can't roll it back and catch it in gear.
No.
So, yeah. So that was one thing. I'll get to another thing later in the race. I don't know if people saw Pato's impassioned interview post race.
Oh no, I didn't see this.
You didn't see
Was
it? Okay. Oh, we'll get to it.
What?
We'll get to it.
Man.
All right.
Was it good?
So,
it's okay. All right.
it came
We'll move on.
in some way. It came across whiny.
Oh, jeez.
At
What
the-
for finishing?
Whatever. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. To tell you the truth, he wasn't really in the race much.
No, that's why I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean?
Right. As opposed to Palou and Dixon.
Well, right.
And once
And,
again, Ganassi nailed the when to pit strategy right.
Mm-hmm.
And both Palou and Dixon, it moved them right to the top too. So it became a straight fight between the two of them, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
And that Will Power
From Toowoomba.
from Toowoomba, not a good day.
No.
Not a good day.
No, he did not.
Along with Roman Grosjean.
He got out of the race immediately.
Yeah, he was gone right away. Rossi had a tough one.
What about our pole sitter, Sean? Who was our pole sitter?
That was Graham Rahal. And from the drop of the flag on, Graham and Scotty Mack went backwards.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what they were thinking on strategies. And there was a lot of good radio chatter from both cars. Mm-hmm. So not quite sure. Graham was definitely fired up in the car. Kyle Kirkwood, a little bit all over the place. Finished 10th. Ran up high. He was running high in the order in the top 5, came back down, back and forth. Hurt again in the top 5, and then once again, pit lane violation. So, not sure where that goes. Is that on the team? That on the driver? Is it on both?
I mean,
Driver, right?
yeah, ultimately the driver. I mean, unless you're being called in like really late, but at that point, the driver still needs to be aware enough to either not cross the white line, number one, and 2, be able to get in.
Another guy I thought was going to have a good race, Christian Lundgaard, MIA.
Right.
It's like all the Rahal cars went MIA.
Yeah.
Well, and who was the highest finishing RLL car?
Christian Lundgaard.
I thought it was Vips.
No,
No, it wasn't? Oh, okay.
No.
Never mind.
he finished 18th.
Didn't he start there, too? I think he started there and finished there.
No, I'm looking at the race. Yep, 18th.
Well, I mean, I didn't expect him to be in the top 10 or anything. But
Yeah, I mean, he did finish ahead of Blomqvist in the Meyer Shank car, second one.
Right.
So,
Maybe say something about the Tom Bloomquist decision, huh?
anyways. Up front, we had Palou and Dixon came down in the last round of pit stops. Palou pitted, Dixon pitted, Rosenquist took the lead, and then we had Canapino, no fault of his own, car spun and stalled, and then we had the race control intervention. I don't get just why they didn't throw the flag. It wrecked the race.
Yeah.
Because what ended up happening was Rosenquist leapfrogged Dixon in the pits, came out second, and then was able to maintain second place. Mm-hmm. So, on fresher tires. But he couldn't dent Palou.
No.
J-New, great recovery from qualifying. Finished 5th. Rinus VeeKay. Haven't seen him much in the top 10. Finished 6th. Marcus Saracen 7th. And the Wonder Kid, David Malukas, 8th.
He was the biggest mover.
Yes,
he
he
was
was.
the biggest mover in the race from
then we
23rd, I think.
Yep, then we had Scotty Mack and then Kyle Kirkwood. All right. So with Palou's win, he closed out the championship. Mm-hmm. I think Dixon, just hold on one second. Pardon me.
I'm surprised Alex Palou didn't get a blocking penalty on Castro Neves.
You think?
You know what I'm talking about, right? It was after the chicane.
Yeah, and we got to talk about that. So we have 2 things to talk about. I was trying to keep him out of the race. I didn't want to keep him out of the race recap. Put him second, post race. But just real quick on the points, Dixon maintains a 57-point lead on Newgarden. I think essentially
That locks it.
I think it locks it up as long as Dixon doesn't fall out of the race.
Yeah.
Well, what image do you get the win? Oh, you get 53 for the win? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's 53 and then a fast lap point. I think he's got it locked up.
He's got it locked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. There is a dogfight between Newgarden and Award. Mm-hmm. Scotty Mack could leapfrog them both. Ericsson, not so much. He does have about 30 points on Will Power. Then we have Lundgaard, Rossi, and Herta. Again, Rossi and Herta, it's a 1 point differential. Oh, and Kyle Kirkwood has is 1 point behind Herta. So a little bit of a dogfight there for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, Monterey, California. Mm-hmm. As Nate said, let's go back and discuss two things during the race. One is, as Nate alluded to, Palou coming out of the pits.
Did Castroneves say, Did Castroneves say hello, Palou? Or?
He could have. Was that Palou coming out of the pits? Yes. Came out of the pits, cold tires. Castroneves.
Hot tires.
Castroneves tried to make a move coming out of the turn one, the chicane, to go to the left. Palou went, as soon as Castroneves went, Palou went. So he reacted to the move fully.
That's what I mean.
Right. And then Helio did the smart thing, kind of drifted back to the middle, and then tried to go to the right. And then Palou went right. And then Castroneves came back to the middle, and Palou came back. So essentially there were three moves there. And then race earlier in the race, Kirkwood got nailed for that, correct? For a block.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I think so. I think that's why he was coming through the pack again. So he got nailed for a block, and it was the exact same thing. I don't care if he's the championship leader or what, but it was a block. A block's a block.
That was a block.
Yeah.
A block's a block.
Block's a block.
And that was a block all day. And Townsend Bell called it too.
Yes. Yep. And Hinch was all over it. So, but race control didn't see it that way. So.
Very shocking.
Yeah.
Very, very shocking. Especially for this kind of racing at a road course.
There were some blocks in the Formula One race, and those received penalties.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were as egregious. There was one that was pretty sloppy, but they weren't as egregious as that. So I'm not. That was one. That was actually 2 strikes against race control. Now 3 strikes, and I'm also going to put a strike against Pato. Was post race. Okay, so in the final stage of the race, and this has been the rule in IndyCar. The car, if you're coming up on a car that's a lap down, that car is entitled to race you for the position, or for the track position, maintaining that they want to keep themselves from getting unlapped. I'm not 100% for that. I think it's, most other racing series, if you're shown the blue flag, you move over and the race continues. However, in IndyCar, it's been a long, I shouldn't say long-standing, but it's the last couple of years, it's always seemed to be the thing. Now, the drivers have voiced their things, but nothing's ever seemed to happen, so not sure why. It's probably more of an entertainment factor than anything. At the end of the race, there were a couple instances where Marcus Armstrong was able to hold up Pato so that Dixon could get away. And then subsequently Pato couldn't get past Armstrong. He wasn't even close. So Pato's whole thing was, well, he let Dixon by, and I'm like, well, that's his teammate.
Right.
All right. But Pato never got close enough. Like, not on his gear. He was not on his gearbox, and never threatened them.
Well, that's the thing. He's just wishing to follow through.
Right.
With it, but he wasn't like alongside or anything.
He wanted the freebie pass like that Dixon got. Well, your teammate, that's what they do.
Right.
So, and then, so we had Pato for 5 minutes going off about it. And at the end of it, he called every back marker out there an ass. So.
Well, Benjamin Peterson does have it coming sometimes.
Yeah,
he's been in the way a lot of the times this season.
It wasn't him this weekend. Okay.
No, I understand. I understand.
Right.
Like, so racers are as good as their last race.
I think Pato was just butthurt that Dixon got by on a free pass. And I'm like, again, it's the teammate.
But roles reversed, it would have been the same thing.
Same thing.
If
let's say it was Rosenquist and he was down a lap and he gave Pato the free pass and then hassled Dixon. It's going to be Nate. You're 100% right. But my thing is to Pato, get behind him, get up, make the pass on him. And he was low and pushed the pass, and secondly he was eating up tires as he usually does. So,
right. I mean, some things don't change.
Yeah. So, anyways, it was one strike to race control. The other one was to strike to Pato, and just he never seems to have a good thing to say post race, you know. So.
He's trying to add the entertainment factor, right? Like,
you think so? It comes across whiny. I don't.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Thoughts, Christian?
Well,
I mean,
hang on. Oh, so go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good, Nate.
So the last point I'm gonna make on the blocking, I'm surprised Castro Neves wasn't more animated about it, because there was a race where him and this is way back, I think in 2011, 2010 maybe, where they were at Edmonton.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's the not block there.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. And then
they called Castro Neves for blocking.
And he went after the race official.
Yeah.
Right, I remember that.
Held his shirt with both hands. So I'm surprised, between those two blocks.
I wasn't right.
Well, that one's a block and then that one's not a block.
Yeah. I think there was a radio exchange about the block, and Meyer Shank said we're on it, so but what got me was that there was just no action from race control.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And if it was anyone else, might have been called a block.
And I believe it's Max Pappas and Ari Landijk. Is that who's up there?
Similar situation. Oh no.
In terms of being the race stewards.
I don't. I know. It's not Barnhard.
Brian, it's up to the stewards first to decide if there's going to be anything. Then they adjudicate the penalty from there. It just came collectively that
and they didn't see anything.
They saw nothing. Now,
what race are they looking at?
I got a dumb question. Did both of those guys, or if any, drive for Chip during any of their careers?
I don't think so.
Now, if you want a conspiracy thought.
What's the conspiracy?
No, I'm just saying. What if both of them drove for Ganassi during their careers?
Well, because Max Pappas did not. He drove the Miller Lite car.
He drove in a couple different teams. He drove for RLL for a bit, and he drove elsewhere. I'm just saying. What if?
That would have been really
I think Ari did, because he was driving the Target car.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he had his best years. He was in the Domino's car winning the Indy 500.
It's not that. It's the fact they ran with Chip and Chip paid him.
Okay. But I get what you're saying, but I don't think that has any influence at all.
That no action was pulled against the Chip Ganassi driver? If that was a Penske guy on Palou, that I guarantee you that would have been a penalty.
What, to give Scott Dixon the title?
No. If Newgarden blocked Palou, immediately Newgarden would have got a penalty on that.
Well, I think if you ask any race fan that's been watching IndyCar for a few years, they would have said that's a blocking penalty.
Nate, play along with me.
Clear as day. I'm trying. I'm just giving my input, and I'm just thinking.
We're all about the conspiracy theory.
How is it? Yeah. Oh well, you know what I said about the 2020 Indy 500.
Well, you also
right?
earlier in the podcast, you did put out a conspiracy theory that Tyler Reddick slammed the brakes on. So.
Oh, that's true. There's a difference. So.
Anyways, all right. So let's we move on to Formula One.
Well, we did crown a Indy NXT champion.
Well,
NXT?
It wasn't NXT.
I know
It's USF
Indy
Pro
next.
2000.
Pro
Oh,
2000.
I'm sorry.
Pro 2000 and 2000.
That's right. My bad.
Yeah.
Pro 2000
Lower
and
series.
2000.
Yes.
So the 2000, I don't know. Miles Rowe won the Pro 2000. It was all points. I mean, it was good because it was a points battle, and him and Nate's rental car guy, Michael D'Orlando.
Yes. I mean, hey, I've been on a track with him once.
There you go.
Before.
Well,
so what can I
brush
say?
with greatness.
And Nate, how did that turn out?
He look. I have a touring car championship, and he has a different championship.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We're both champions.
yeah.
how's that
So
sound?
no, but it was cool. It was good. It was good. So Miles Rowe is your USF Pro 2000. Now Miles will move up to Indy NXT next year. He has money to do that.
That's good. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
that's pretty
So-
cool to see.
So
So,
we'll see what happens.
and who went over to congratulate him was Will Power.
Well, Will
went over to
Power
congratulate.
Will Power actually kind of discovered him.
No kidding.
Yeah, they were at GoPro, and Miles was doing he was at a karting event, and Will was watching him and watched them throughout the weekend, and then he came back another weekend that Miles ran and watched them again, and he was the one that he's championed them up the space. I mean, and Miles had to overcome some shortfalls on cash. I mean, Penske stepped in at one point. Entertainment stepped in with some cash at one point. So Michael D'Orlando was running into problems too with cash. So these lower level guys, I give them credit for getting through the season. They have to hustle. So don't know. I believe Miles has enough for the full season next year. I would have to think so, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, but it's one season,
Right.
so hopefully it'll lead to something more. Longer lasting. It's tough because he's going to come in. Now he's going up to another car.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, they do run the same racetracks, but it's a different car. So see how Miles does next year. It's just tough, first season. So case in point, look at Jamie Chadwick. She's
right, and I was just going to bring that
now
up.
she's starting to finish. She's starting to close races now. I mean, granted, there was a cluster F at the start of the Indy NXT race that took out about 5 cars, but I mean, she stayed out of trouble, finished 6th. So good for her. So that's she's building more momentum towards next season. So, I'm hoping that she does get a chance to come back next season because that'll be her second season. So let's see what happens there. And then Mr. Fill-in, Matty Brabham.
Right.
He's filling in like left and right for Hunkos Hollinger, so pretty cool. So, anyways, so I think they go down to now. NXT will go down to WeatherTech to crown their champion.
Yep.
You have any insight as to the point spread there, Christian?
You know what? In about 2 minutes, I will.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to Formula Uno or Formula Un.
What is it? The Grande something, Sean?
Grand
Italia.
Gran Primo
Gran Primo.
d'Italia. At the Autodromo Nazionale Monza.
If I may.
Good.
Oh.
Are you Italian?
Indy Next Championship, Christian Rasmussen
Yes.
is leading the points by 65.
Okay. But it wasn't he
race
didn't
race win is 53 points,
Right.
and there's 2 rounds at
Right.
Laguna Seca.
yeah.
So
And I think there were 2 this weekend.
no, there were just
Just
one.
one?
Just
All
one.
right.
And
Oh, so a doubleheader.
There wasn't enough to close out the championship.
no,
that was
no.
the thing.
What 6? I mean, he's just gonna out.
He's just
outdo
basically
him by
as long as he finishes in the top
Hunter,
3 both
yeah.
races.
Oh yeah. I mean, as long as he's got a 55-point gap going
Yeah.
into the
Final
second race,
race.
he's got it clinched. So.
All right. Well, something to look forward to on that front next
Yep.
weekend. All right. Here we are, Monza. The Ferrari cars look beautiful in their red and yellow. I like them.
Yes.
Did like the drivers' suits. It was nice to have the Ferrari hypercar drivers there to support the team. Practices went pretty much as expected. The Ferraris were quick.
Carlos was quick.
Carlos was quick. I'm not.
I was feeling pretty confident with my pick. I'll tell you. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Well,
birthday boys showing up.
Yep. Nope. All good there. He was quick. Max was quick. Again, I think Max was just using practice to kind of figure out tire strategy on the car, more so than anything. The Williams were quick. Which I'm not surprised about.
No. I think
No.
I think with how close this race was, because it wasn't like anyone was really getting away from each other, and when everyone was kind of in line, you couldn't really make a move. So it was almost Monaco-esque to a degree. But
And again, that's sort of the first corner on the first lap kind of sets it up that way a little bit.
yeah,
You have to take a risk there, but I think with the top 3, top 4, I mean, the only person that really took a risk was Fred,
yeah,
which doesn't surprise me.
no, but I think he also knew that the car wasn't
Yeah.
as fast as it could be.
So he
there.
had to do something early,
Yeah.
and do that,
Right.
which was good. George got up there. Lewis kind of fell back. And then Perez
It just took him a while.
took him a while.
Yeah. So what?
But he got up there.
He got up
Yeah,
there.
didn't seem quite as confident
What I
on
thought,
the brakes, but
what I thought Max was, and you just right away, Max was like, "All right, I'm gonna pick my spot." He picked it a couple times. Carlos properly defended it, and then Carlos made a mistake. And
Well,
Max,
And he was saying this. He was saying this on the radio. Max was because he was.
Oh,
just
the
like,
car was
he's-
sliding,
he's
yeah.
getting loose,
Yeah.
sliding.
yeah.
Yep. So I mean,
So at that
it
point,
was
Max
bound to
had,
happen.
why would Max not just wait? I mean, just wait and see what happens. Apply some pressure, see what happens, and sure enough, he applied. Great race though by those two until Max finally pulled ahead.
Yeah.
Some great driving with that. We didn't have any miscues by Ferrari in the pits
no. Well,
No, there was a slow pit stop.
on Charles.
I think there was a
Or
I wouldn't.
Ricardo?
signs.
I think it was. I think the only mistake, and this was similar to. I think this was similar to last year with Charles. It's like the only mistake they made, I guess, was just not pitting first. Mm-hmm. Like I think if they just got track position again, not saying that would have sealed it by any means, but it definitely would have just given them another chance. Or you could have used Charles as a guinea pig to just go and pit early, get out ahead, and then just slow Max down that way. So I mean, you had two cars to kind of play with, but in the end, Perez got by both of them. It seems that Ferrari I think again are just harder on their tires than the Red Bull is.
Yep.
And I mean that's something we saw last year too. So
Christian, did you see the move on lap 6 where Max was right next to Carlos, and he was like, "Oh, that was a little naughty," or "That was naughty"?
yeah,
Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I think Carlos was really dancing with the devil there, trying to keep Max behind. Because I'll tell you, we've seen that move happen before, and two cars ended up in the gravel from that. And Max was one of those drivers that got involved in such.
right. I mean, I think Max knows where he is in the points at this stage of the season, so there's no need to risk something like that. But I mean, I think that's the side of Carlos that unfortunately we haven't seen a whole lot of, and it's only because I don't think he's had the pace to just be up there and showcase that, because prior to Ferrari, I mean, him at McLaren and then even at Toro Rosso when he was fighting Max, like he was still. This is still who he is. So it's now he's actually being put up there and showcased a bit. So which is nice to see, because he is for the value that Ferrari has him at, he's very good for what he is.
All right. What do we think of Lewis getting a little feisty with Oscar?
He's getting feisty with Oscar. To be honest, I don't really have too much of an issue with it. I know he. Oh no! But he ran. Did he clip his front wing? Yeah, he clipped his front wing.
Yeah, a little moment there.
I don't.
Lewis
quite
ended up
remember
getting a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, he did. But how did he break off Oscar's wing?
It was on that they kind of got side by side, and he kind of shut the door on him a bit.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where the cars are just so wide.
Yeah.
And the course is just really small.
Yeah.
So I'm not. Stuff like that is going to happen, but this is also to another point of like you can make the car as light as you want, but if it's too fragile and you nick anything, then you gotta come in and fix it. So,
and I will give credit. Lewis went over and apologized post race, so all good there.
Hold on, Nate. Hold up. We've lost you for a second. Say that again.
Yeah. So, but the laps prior, Oscar Piastri and Lewis Hamilton were still battling, and they actually ended up cutting the second half of the chicane together. True. And then they had the contact. So, I mean, it just spilled over, and unfortunately, Oscar Piastri got the short end of it. But I mean, if you're McLaren, I don't know if you want to battle Lewis, obviously, but at the same time, you kind of want to make sure you keep the points, right?
Correct. Yep.
So I don't know. For me, I just feel it was a little over the edge for Oscar to begin with, because he even got to Lando Norris in the first chicane.
That's true. Yeah, they did have a little dust up there. That's right. Yeah. So I think some of these teams need to kind of, at this point of the season, you need to kind of talk to your drivers a little bit.
Right.
So, anyway, so Max set the record here.
Yes, he did. VerstapTEN.
So, yep. So that's exciting.
Well,
what do you think?
It keeps.
Now, I'm not saying he's going to sweep
the rest of the season.
No, but I think Red Bull could sweep.
Yes, I think that's kind of the thing. Like as much as I would have liked to see Sainz win, it kind of would have ruined the rest of the season for me, because then I'm not really watching for anything else. Right. Like I'm just watching for the some other team to come in and win. But I mean, if Carlos is the only one that comes in and wins and destroys it all, then it's it's one race short that Red Bull would be from a perfect season.
Right. And then just another highlight on the weekend, two highlights. Alex Albon, the 7th place finish with the Williams. Not unsurprised that this happened.
Oh, what? That he just stayed ahead?
No, that he finished in the top 10.
No. I think Williams knew coming into this race that it was a good points week for them.
And then we had Liam Lawson. Finished 11th. He was 6 seconds adrift of Valtteri for the final point. But again,
right. And
good job. Did he get through Q2? To Q2?
Yes, he did.
Okay. That's another step.
He was also the first of the drivers to do pit stop
Two pit
strategies.
stops, yeah.
So if they did a one stop,
and the reason they
could have been
the
in
reason they
points.
tried to do that was they were trying to maximize the car's potential because they were down to one car because Yuki had dropped out
Correct. Yes.
before the start. So so from that perspective, I can understand why they did the two stop strategy.
Yep.
Because
And I'd also add this too for Liam Lawson because he had to pass 2 cars on the last lap to get this to get to 11th. He had to pass.
Well, Piastri was a penalty.
Logan Sargent.
no, Piastri.
Well, okay,
no.
okay. I'm sorry. So
Did
that's
Piastri
right.
get a 5-second penalty?
Yes.
Who did he get that for?
For passing Lawson.
Oh, okay.
Because he did it
All
by
right.
cutting the course.
Got it. All right. Sorry. Didn't realize it was him. I thought it was Sargent. Okay. I thought Oscar passed Sargent. So.
No.
Yeah. So again, you
Yeah,
know,
he actually passed Sargent,
and
but
then
it was a time penalty from Oscar.
penalty
Yeah.
for Oscar, right? So
Yeah.
Anywho, good
So-
job by him. If we just move.
Dare I say it? He's the highest finishing off Atari.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, actually, the next race for them. Well, I guess we can
Singapore.
get onto this point too. Lawson will be driving in Singapore
Right.
because Ricardo is going to be
Yeah,
out
he's
until Qatar. It looks
Yeah.
like
Yeah. So that he'll miss Singapore
in Japan. So Singapore will be an interesting race because that's the longest race on the calendar.
Has driven there. The Formula 2 car's gone there?
I don't believe.
Okay. Well, Suzuka, we know he's driven. So,
Yes.
anyways,
Oh yeah.
just
Super
on the
Formula.
just on the points front, Max has stepped this up. So he is now 81.
I'm gonna bring up one more thing.
He's 100. He's 145 points
He
ahead.
can't clinch it yet.
Ugh.
I
This
think
is
what is Qatar the race? He'll
Yes.
clinch it.
Yeah,
Mo-
that's
most likely.
Most likely.
Um,
just kind of looking. Oh, sorry.
F2. The next time they race
Is it
is Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi? Wow.
So they got
Wow.
I got a big
3 months off.
Jeez.
What are you
Or-
doing?
or-
That's the thing I don't get. Like, what did these guys
It's-
do?
No, well, because F3 ended this past week.
Was this their last race?
Yep.
So they're not going to Abu Dhabi?
That makes sense. If you're going to keep the
Sure.
calendar predominantly European, fine.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that, but this F2 race doesn't make sense. Like it's 2-3 months until the next race.
Right.
And at that point you pretty much have to be you pretty much have to have clinched the title going into this race to even have a shot of retaining a seat in F1. Or sorry, not retaining, but graduating to F1 if you want a shot like that.
Yeah. Anyways. All right. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Just on the points front, Max is up well ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Checo, he's up by 49. On Fred's up by 6. On Lewis, and then the dogfight is between 5, 6, and 7, and that's between Carlos, Charles, and George. Carlos leads the 3 with 117. Charles has 111, and George has 109. So there's a lot to play for there.
Mm-hmm.
As well as Lewis can hunt and strike down Fred. So other than that, that's pretty much where that is. I mean, Piastri and Ocon are tied. 1 point behind. They're 1 point behind Gasly, and Gasly's 10 points behind Lance. So, all right. So we move on to Singapore 2 weeks. So see how that goes. All right. Let's go to news and notes. Well, first off, Felix Rosenqvist has joined Meyer Shank Racing. Mm-hmm. So congratulations to Felix. Roman Grosjean is out at Andretti. Nothing official, but it's out. He's probably heading off either the coin or to WEC in full-time Lambo.
Right.
So we'll see what happens there. Denny Hamlin, Nate's favorite driver, signed a 2-year deal with Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah.
You
Well,
excited for that?
I mean, it's expected. If anything, there was rumors that 2311 is going to go to Ford. So I was thinking maybe he goes over to Stuart Haas, but obviously, given that this announcement has happened, I mean, that kind of squashes that idea.
Got that.
So I wasn't entirely sure, but this kind of hints toward even 2311 keeping Toyota for maybe 1 or 2 years, and I guess we'll see what happens there as well.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. It's interesting. It's interesting.
It is, and I think Denny Hamlin on this podcast, he had Coach Gibbs on his most recent episode. So I don't know if that was I don't know if the announcement came there or what, but I saw the post on NASCAR, NASCAR's Instagram.
Then I think we talked about this last week with Linus going over to Chip.
Yep.
We're still waiting on confirmation if Armstrong will be in the car full time next year. There is talk that Takuma will be in somebody's car, Indy only. And that's all he really wants to do. So that's good there. Looks like Malukas. It's down to Malukas and Ilott to go to McLaren. There's some kind of I guess Juncos has an arrangement with McLaren somewhere along the line. So it's possible that they both could be driving McLaren cars, although one car will be at Juncos. So it makes, I don't know if that makes any sense. At Foyt, it's still up in the air. Speculation is that Santino will be back. Just don't know who's going to be in the second car, if it's going to be Peterson. With Foyt tying up with Penske, and Penske wanting to put, Penske Entertainment may want to put, an up-and-comer in that second car. So have to wait and see there. DeFrancesco rumored to go to Coyne. And there's, the other one that's still out there is, what's going on at Ed Carpenter Racing, other than VK. So.
Right.
Because, do you put Ryan Hunter-Reay in there for the full season?
I don't know. Has he done anything since he came back?
No.
So I have to think it's not the driver, it's the car or the team.
Yeah, because they've definitely taken a step backwards, and I don't know what it is, because Rinus VK has one race, or does he only have one race win to his name?
Well,
Indy Road Course.
And today he was up. He was in the top 10. That's why I was kind of thought that was a breakthrough. But anyways, other than that, we had the announcement of the rebranding at Andretti Autosport.
That was awesome.
Which now becomes Andretti Global.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, does that ring close to the Formula One name they're going to use?
Well, I don't think that's NASCAR by any means. So let me tell you. I think that's F1. That kind of yells F1, if anything, right? So, beyond going to WC, right?
The speculation is that the FIA will announce that they're one of the teams selected. But then it's up to F1, whatever. This is where it gets, whatever. It's got to go to the next stage.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a silly question, but does their influence of Formula E kind of have something?
No.
Because I know they won the championship with Jake Dennis.
No, it just, to me, the fact they won one is good. The fact to me is that they run on multiple high-level platforms, and
are successful.
Right. They're looking to break into NASCAR. I akin this to very much what McLaren's doing across the board. So they have sports cars. They have Formula E, Formula Extreme, same with Andretti. So I equate them to being on a par with McLaren. Okay?
Makes sense.
They have the tie-in with GM, which McLaren does not. They have supposedly a tie-in coming with Red Bull powertrains. So, not exactly a big name manufacturer on the engine front. Oh no! Although Red Bull's going to be named Ford, it's going to be rebadged Ford, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Anyways, it's Ford. They'll announce it and be gone in 3 years.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, Nate. I think they bring up a good point.
I wasn't entirely sure, but I just figured. Look, it might have some influence, right?
Yeah.
That'd be my guess. But I mean, Jake Dennis is a class driver too. You know, he's fought all season for it, despite the shenanigans with what is it, Envision, when the two teammates got together.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous, but very much deserving champion in that series.
No, fair enough. Let's see. Oh yeah, F1 today, the FIA, and Formula One. All teams complied with the Formula One 2022 cost cap.
Oh, you heard that, Sean?
Yeah.
Wait, say that again. All teams?
Yeah. Yep.
Does Toto know this?
I know. I after this weekend of him on social media, they need to take his social media accounts away. Jesus God, guy is delusional. Anyways, breaking news also. Toto will not be at the Japanese Grand Prix. He will be having knee surgery. So, there you go.
Oh well.
Anyways,
who fills in? Nico Rosberg or?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
Right? Like who's?
It's not James. It won't be James.
No, it won't be James Vowles.
It won't be James Vowles. Trying to see if I can find out who will. He will be. He will be replaced by his new deputy chief, Jerome D'Ambrosio. Formula One driver of note. Not much, but anyways. Mm-hmm. So he's Toto's fill-in boy. Anyways.
Riveting.
All right. Shall we pick a winner for IndyCar? Winner in a dark horse.
All right.
I'm going Herta for the win.
I know why.
Yeah, I know why too.
and then I want to go Pato as the dark horse.
Okay. I like that. Nate?
Laguna Seca. I mean, I'm gonna go with Will Power. He's gonna close out the season with a win.
Okay.
Because he has some added fire after last week. So I think he's just gonna close on a good note and win the race. And the dark horse, boy, the rookie battle is heating up. But personally, I'd like to see Agustin Canapino come through with it. But I think more than likely it's going to be Marcus Armstrong. But I'm going to pick on Marcus Armstrong as the dark horse this track.
All right. Dad, who do you got?
I'm going to go Dixon for the win.
Ooh.
Because he wants to go into the offseason strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go with David Malukas.
Hey.
He's sniffing. Sniffing.
He's sniffing all right.
He's sniffing.
All right.
So
had a confidence from Gateway, a great finish.
I would have picked Will Power, but I'm just not feeling it for Will.
No. Well, I mean, he did. Huh? He did have a. Didn't he get pole there last year?
He did. I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Well, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the power, the will power.
The Veraz and IndyCar.
From Toowoomba. I have to say it. I know. I have to say it. Ugh.
I also, as much as I like Alex Palou, I just don't want to hear "Hello, Palou."
Oh, same, Sean.
Don't want to hear it.
I
Don't want
already
to
got
hear
it
it.
twice last weekend.
I got it way too much, and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they close it out at Laguna Seca. That's a good track to go to close out the championship.
that'll be the last time it closes out there because they moved to Nashville next year.
That's right.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to a street course and have a wreck fest.
Yeah.
All the
and what
courses
happened?
revamped.
Oh, well,
I don't care. I
still
just,
Nashville.
I don't. I just street courses just don't do it for me.
Oh,
Long Beach
Oh,
does.
St. Petersburg does it for me. I like St.
Oh
Petersburg.
yeah, because you can open the season with a crash fest. I mean,
Hey,
Nate,
hey!
Nate,
Come on!
come on.
Oh my God! No, you come on! It's a good track. It's a good track.
No.
There's a long straightaway that
No,
it's kind of like
it's
Sebring,
not. It's
and then
not.
it tightens up.
Yeah, and then everyone gets into each other.
been-
Everyone gets mad.
They've been
and
doing
it's
it
just
every
it's a
year.
yeah,
They've been doing
and
it every year, and it's fine.
and
It's
every
fine.
year it's a crap show.
No, this year it was a crap show
No,
because there was
2
two cars that got in the air.
2 years ago, it was a crap show when Graham and Rossi got into it. I mean, Nate, it's a crap show. There's someone always gets dumped at the end of the front straightaway because they think it's NASCAR. I mean, it's just dumb.
No.
Dumb.
Sean. Jeez. You know what? I think it's great. I think it's a great place. Look, you get the same crap at Long Beach. It's still a street circuit.
I'm not a fan of them.
I think it's IndyCar's bread and butter. It's really cool to showcase IndyCar on the street circuit. I'm not saying every race, because I'll tell you the other bread and butter is the ovals. Because look, I have this whole thing about Mark Miles. I just think, I'll be nice about it. I think the Triple Crown just needs to be brought back. All right, you go to Indy, you go to Pocono, and you go to Michigan. Okay. That's how you do it. All right. And look, street courses, I think one street course should rotate at a different city every year. But hey, I'm not running IndyCar. These are just my thoughts.
Uh-huh.
All right. Anything else?
I think you get more views.
I guess just to recap, IndyCar is going to be running at Laguna Seca this weekend. And
NASCAR at Kansas.
NASCAR at Kansas. We got the WEC at
Back from
Fuji.
their break.
Yeah, 6 hours of Fuji.
Yep.
Yep.
That'll be Fuji
Hopefully don't have any rain this time around.
Start time for Fuji
Why
is
not?
10 p.m. on Saturday for Eastern time.
Eastern
People.
time? All right.
And then
You don't like rain racing, Sean?
It's rained there every year. I just would like to see a dry race there. That's all.
and then
I don't mind the rain. It's just they've had bad weather. Same with the
MotoGP
green.
is in Italy for the San Marino Grand Prix.
Yeah. So that was a wild race in Spain.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something wild about that,
Yeah.
too.
There was a couple crashes on the opening lap. So tough stuff there.
Yeah,
All right.
big time.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
All right. And on that note.
Good night.
Thank you guys for listening to the Red Mist Podcast, hosted by Christian Abbott, Sean Abbott, and Nathan Lavin. It's produced by Christian Abbott, and music is by Alex Wart and Harrison Tate.